In a vision as clear as reality, Jesusu saw the truth. The great dam. That night, the sky could not rest. Lightning crawled across the clouds like warning letters. While the village slept uneasily, Jesusu prayed for every soul.
Give them courage to hear and In the silence after the storm, Adam lifted his eyes to the heavens. Above him,
in the heart of the forest, life answered the call. From every path, Ensure the rods align precisely with the marks. The structure must hold against the coming flood.
Pull steady now. Aye, steady.
Heave!
Pull tighter on the main line.
It's moving! Watch your hands there!
It is finished. We have done it.
Praise be, the great boat is complete.
Keep hammering. More force on this nail.
Pull the rope tight. Secure that beam now.
Secure that beam. More tension on the main line.
Ready the pegs.
Lift it higher on the left. Hold it steady. Bring the hammer down.
Bring that beam over here.
Watch the scaffolding.
Secure the ropes on the left side.
These marks will guide our steps. Let us move forward with steady hearts and unity.
We understand. We're ready to follow your direction.
The first signs appeared quietly, like a whisper. Clouds gathering where there should have been nothing but blue sky. High above the village, Jesusu stood alone, feeling a trembling in the air that no one else could sense. The last beam is in place.
It is done. Bring the oil. We are finished. We are finished.
when their arms grew heavy and their backs ached, Alex did not command them. He comforted them. Long before cities of steel and glass, there was a small village hidden in the heart of the forest, living in fragile peace beside a mighty dam. On that day, the sky whispered of change. Adamel felt a shiver that no one else could hear. The village trusted the dam, an old guardian of stone. But Adamel sensed the guardian was growing tired. The elders kept stories burned into wood, tales of storms that had come before, and of a single great vessel that once carried hope. That night, as the village drifted into dreams, the wind stirred with a voice older than any lullaby. In his dreams, Adamel saw the forest drown, the dam shatter, but he also saw a great wooden ark and creatures of the earth moving toward it, as if called by an invisible song.
He woke with his heart pounding, knowing this was no ordinary dream. It was a warning.
The river spoke first, rushing and restless, as if trying to flee from something unseen. At sunrise, Adamel shared his vision. His voice did not shake, but his words carried the weight of coming thunder. He spoke of the dam breaking, of waters rising, and of a single place of safety that must be built with their own hands. A wooden ark, vast enough to carry not only their people, but the life of the forest itself. At last, they chose to trust. And with that trust came a burden. Adamel would lead them against the coming doom.
With the rising of the next sun, the village became a workshop of hope.
Axes bit into living wood. Every strike was a promise, every splinter a prayer for tomorrow.
Adamel did not cut without gratitude. He knew that rescue always has a cost, and he bowed to the forest before he took.
The giants of the forest fell, not in rage, but in sacrifice, their roots surrendering so others might live.
Far away, the storm cleared its throat,
practicing the roar it would soon unleash. Every hand found a task. From the smallest child to the oldest elder, each one became a thread in a single great work.
Adamel carried the ark in his mind before it rose from the ground. He saw not just wood and nails, but journeys and futures. The smell of fresh-cut wood filled the air, mixing with the scent of fear, hope, and sweat.
They prepared notly walls, but shields, layers of resin to keep the coming waters from stealing their breath.
On bare earth, they drew the skeleton of their salvation, a quiet promise etched in dust and stone.
The first beam rose like a prayer lifted by many voices, each voice saying, "We will not give up." Though clothed in white, Adamel's hands became stained with earth. He led not by distance, but by effort. The heavens began to speak in colors that did not belong to peaceful days.
The river swelled, pressing its weight against the old dam, as if impatient for its moment of freedom. Within the growing ribs of the ark, the people moved as one body, their rhythm beating against despair. Flesh tore and blistered, yet still they worked. Pain became a silent hymn of perseverance.
Fear found the smallest hearts first, but Adamel knelt to their height, promising that courage could be shared. Day by day, the forest bent under a wind that no longer felt like a caress, but a warning.
Some slept while others worked beneath stars half hidden by growing clouds. Time itself seemed to shorten.
He listened to the heartbeat of the coming storm, measuring how quickly destiny was walking toward them.
In solitude, Adamel sought strength not in stone or wood, but in the quiet light that had always guided him. With each sunrise, the ark grew, until it loomed over the village like a guardian birthed from the forest itself.
Planks covered bones, and the ark began to look less like a dream and more like a shelter.
They sealed every crack, as if they were stitching up the wounds of their own fear. But while they built, the dam quietly began to bleed.
When the first trickle was found, their doubts turned to urgency. The stories were no longer just stories. Adamel saw it clearly. This was the first crack in the giant's armor. Time was almost gone.
He did not waste breath on panic. Instead, he gave the village a single order. Faster!
Even the birds knew. They left their homes, choosing flight over faith in crumbling stones. Far from the hammering and shouting, the first animals felt a call, gentle but irresistible.
Something tugged at their spirits, drawing them toward the wooden giant that waited in the clearing.
From above, he saw not chaos but purpose, a mosaic of effort coming together piece by piece.
They made room not just for themselves, but for every beating heart that depended on their courage. A great ramp rose like a tongue of wood, inviting the forest's children to step into safety.
And then, at last, the sky began to speak in drops of water.
Each drop was a whisper. Hurry.
The old wall answered with its own voice, a low groan no one had heard before, or had refused to hear.
Lines of life began to converge, drawn not by fear, but by a hidden assurance that there was still hope. Even the mightiest creatures bent their journey toward the ark, as if answering a silent invitation.
In the heart of the forest, life moved as one. The animals drawn together by an... In the heart of the forest, life moved as one. The animals drawn together by an ancient call.
In the heart of the forest, life answered the call.
wind howled around him, but Adamel moved with purpose. His eyes scanned the village.
Adamel's heart swelled as the creatures came, their trust in him silent but clear. The Ark was The dam, once a steadfast guardian of the village, could no longer withstand the weight of the rising flood. In the heart of the storm, Adel moved through the Ark like a steady flame in the dark. His touch was the promise of hope.
The Ark, now a sanctuary of life, moved forward in perfect harmony. Inside the Ark, amidst the whispers of rain and the shifting of creatures, there was an unspoken bond. Within the Ark, a strange calm had settled. The storm raged outside, but inside the Ark, the world seemed distant, as though time itself had paused. Adel moved among them like a steady hand, offering calm in the chaos, his presence a promise that they would endure. The storm's fury pressed against the Ark, but inside, Adamel's steady presence was The storm reached its peak, and the Ark groaned under the weight of the flood. But
The dam had finally given way, and the floodwaters surged with unstoppable force.
the Ark shook with the force of the rising flood. Water surged around them, pressing against the walls with The Ark had become more than just a vessel. It was now a lifeline, a fragile hope in the face of rising. The Ark shook under the weight of the flood, but inside, Adel moved with quiet purpose. But in the calm center of it all stood Adamel, his presence like an anchor, offering both strength and comfort.
Inside the Ark, the storm outside had become a distant roar. Here, in the quiet shelter,
the flood pressed on, and the Ark, though strained, held steady. The storm had reached its peak, but inside the Ark, there was no panic. The flood pressed against them, and the Ark groaned under the weight of the storm. But inside, there
The world outside broke apart with a single, thunderous breath.
The flood roared through the valley with the fury of a world reborn. Forests fell, home. The dam had given way, and with it, the floodwaters surged, carrying the ship that had once held their hopes.
Fear rose with the waters, but Adamel moved among them, a steady light in the storm, lifting the fallen, calming the frightened. He walked among them like a lighthouse in a storm. With every steady step, every gentle word,
Through a tiny window, a child saw what none had ever witnessed, the tops of trees sliding.
hours passed, swallowed by the storm's fury. The storm had passed, and in its wake there was peace. Inside the Ark, the once frantic... The storm had not yet passed, but inside the Ark there was a strange peace.
The world had changed, but inside the Ark, time seemed to pause. The floodwaters had stolen the village.
The storm had passed, the floodwaters receded, and the Ark had come to rest on a new world. The world, once swallowed by water, had returned, and with it came a new beginning. As the floodwaters receded and the Ark came to rest, a new world unfolded before them. And so, they stepped out, one by one, into the world that had been born anew. The flood had swept away. The world had been reborn, and with it, the promise of a future untouched by the past.